a.m. on Friday, September 3rd, 2021, coming to you live from the America First Media Campus. This is We Will Not Comply. We will not comply. And there's a lot of things that we're not going to comply with, and I've got some topics and some things to talk to you guys about today. Going into a holiday weekend, going into the 1-year anniversary of the loud majority, 1 year coming up on Sunday, September 5th. We did start last year on September 6th, but this Sunday we're going to be celebrating the 1 year of the Long Island Loud Majority and the Loud Majority as a whole. As you can see, I'm wearing our Not My President, not my president, absolutely not. Joe Biden shirt. Get him at officialloudmajority.com or loudmajorityus.com. We got him up there. But it's a good Friday morning. It's a nice, listen, it's actually very nice and dry today. It's a little cool. You know, it's fall is in the air. Fall is in the air. And 109 days, 109 days until winter, my favorite season of the year. 109 days. So we're moving towards it. You could feel it out there. It was a little chill in the air today. Hopefully everybody got through the storm okay. I know there was some flooding and some stuff that went down. New York City was a mess. I can't figure out what did more damage to New York City. Was it the remnants of tropical storm or Hurricane Ida, or was it Bill de Blasio? I'm not exactly sure. But in any respect, we got a 7 to 8 a.m. show today. Some stuff to talk about. I mean, is our president going to get impeached? Shouldn't he? That's something to talk about. I want to talk about that picture that I put up on Twitter yesterday that's been going around all over the place. Kathy Hochul, or we're going to refer to her as something a little different. We're not going to call her Kathy Hochul anymore. We're not going to call her Governor Hochul anymore. We are going to refer to her as Governor Cuomo in a dress, because that's exactly what that's exactly what she is. I see a question in the chat here. If an employer mandates a vaccine, what is the employee's rights if they do not get vaccinated? It's a good question. Although I do think it might be the employer's right to do whatever they want if it's a private business. It's unfortunate, but then there are discrimination, things like that. So I'll get back to you. I'll talk to a few folks who happen to know a little bit about that, and we can get a little answer on that. Good morning to those who are tuning in right now, jumping in on the chat. I'm sorry I didn't make a mention that we were going live this morning, but it's every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 8, and so we have some news to get to. Obviously, did Joe Biden commit a quid pro quo? Did he commit a quid pro quo? Wasn't Donald Trump impeached for a phone call in which something like this didn't happen? Right? Good morning. Go up. I see a bunch of people jumping on there. Good morning. I see Vinny, the Commodore, East End's Commodore, Vinny Torelli on the chat there. See them all. Nick Vitale. Haven't seen you guys in a while, man. All right. Anthony Benetti. I'm Dan Benetti's son. Yo. Oh man, all the world's coming together here on the chat this morning. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So did Joe Biden commit a quid pro quo? What is a quid pro quo? We'll talk about that. Kathy Hochul, Governor Cuomo in a dress, is walking around outside. She's taking pictures in schools with all of her friends, no mask. And then you've got 5 little kids and they're masked up, and you just have to ask yourself, what the hell is the left's sick obsession with children? What is the deal? Why on earth are they so obsessed with kids? Hello, Darlene. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But then when you think about what they're actually after, you can start to understand it, right? Why would the left be obsessed with kids? Why would the left be obsessed with kids? Because if they can get to the kids and they can corrupt the kids and they can indoctrinate the kids, like Yuri Bezmenov said, the KGB whistleblower, all he needs, all the KGB needs, all the Soviets need, et cetera, all they need is to identify indoctrinate one generation of children, 20 years. Those kids wind up going to college. They graduate college. Those kids wind up running for office. They're not kids anymore. And then we're stuck with them. Well, they've already done it once because we're stuck with people like Adam Schiff and Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi and AOC and all of these people. We're stuck with them, right? They're in office now. We're stuck with them. Well, we're stuck with them for the short term, but we could change those names, right? We're going to do that. We're going to talk about changing the names. We're going to change the names in Congress. We're going to change the names in the Senate. We're going to change the names on the school board. We're going to change the names on the governor's seat. We're going to change a lot of things about this country. It's all going to run through this room right here at the America First Media Campus, right? So we're going to change the names. That's what we're going to do. You don't like your elected official? Good. Let's get on. Let's campaign against them. You don't like your school board? Good. Let's change it. After a certain amount of time, if you've tried to get in touch with your local officials, your local elected officials, your state, your federal, whoever it might be, if you can't get through to them and you can't change their minds, then you change the names. That's it. That is the way this government was designed. That is the way this government works. We're seeing a complete failure of the representative system everywhere. And it's time to take action. It's just time to have had enough. There is an obsession with the face diaper going on right now. It's a cult, okay? The mask is a cult. I know they talk about MAGA. You're in a MAGA. You Trump supporters are in a cult. We're not in a cult. You sick people who are obsessed with the diapers on the face. Sick. Anti-science masks. Anti-science face diapers. You put them on the face. What is it doing? It's like mosquitoes through a chain link fence. It's not stopping anything. These masks are not stopping a thing. It's like they're in some sort of strange cult, and now they're throwing the diapers on the kids. They're virtue signaling with these masks on. It's unbelievable. So let's talk about Quid Pro Joe, right? Let's talk about Quid Pro Joe. You tell me if this sounds like a quid pro quo. A quid pro quo obviously is promising something in exchange for something else. This for that. Now, it's not just the fact that Sleepy Joe did that, right? That happens everywhere. That's kind of like trading, right? That's kind of, I'll give you this, you give me this in return, right? Something like that. That doesn't sound so bad off the top, at face value, right? A quid pro quo. But just like if Donald Trump had bribed the Ukrainian president Vladimir Zelensky and said, hey, I need you to dig up dirt on my political opponent so that I can have a better chance of winning the presidential election. That's not good. If Donald Trump did that, which he did not do, but if he did that, that's not good. I wouldn't want my president to behave that way. I would think that my president, whoever my president would be, wouldn't have to bribe other countries to win elections. And so I wouldn't expect my president to have to behave that way. But Joe Biden's not my president. Joe Biden's not my president. All right? Look, not my, what does that shirt say? Does that say, I love Joe Biden? No, it's not my president. And so this is what he did. And look, it's perfectly clear. It's absolutely clear that Joe Biden is all over. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's in over his head. Something's going on in his head. It's very sad to watch. But did Sleepy Joe Biden, did Quid Pro Joe ask the Afghanistan, the then president of Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani, did he ask him to lie in exchange for air support to secure Kabul? Did he do that? I'm going to read you the transcript that's Reuters has out. Reuters. It's not like I'm getting this information from the Daily Caller, who I love. Don't get me wrong, but Daily Caller is a right-leaning website. The Reuters is a left-leaning website. So I'm going to read you the transcript, and you're going to tell me, you guys live in the chat, you're going to tell me if you think this is a quid, and I want you to be honest. If there's one thing I'm going to do when we talk on these streams and when we do these streams, we're not going to be golden calf worshipers, right? We're not going to pretend. Look, we love Donald Trump, but we're not going to pretend. We're not going to pretend that Donald Trump is perfect, because he's not. And to do that would be to lie. And to do that would be to do what the left does. It just would be, we're talking about Trump the way they talk about masks, right? Masks are great. I love Donald Trump. He's my favorite president of all time. I wish he was still the president right now. I wish they didn't play games with the 2020 election. But what we will not do here is worship the golden calf, okay? We're gonna treat everybody with the same standards. Nobody is perfect, including Donald Trump. There are things that he did that I didn't like, one of which being the fact that the government spending was way, way, way out of control with him at the helm. I understand there were factors that he's working with, the Democrat House, 2 Democrat houses, really, because the first time he got in there was led by Paul Ryan. But here we go, okay? Because I know if Donald Trump had a phone call, anything resembling this, we've seen the impeachment already, there would be calls for everything, from impeachment to, I don't know, the death penalty. Now, I'm not calling for that, but the left would call. The left wants to see Donald Trump dead. Got news for you. They probably want to see you dead too. It's pretty sad. But let's read the transcript. So Joe Biden starts the call by saying, Mr. President, he's talking to Ashraf Ghani. It's Joe Biden. Ghani says, of course, Mr. Biden, such a pleasure to hear your voice. Do you think he really meant that? Do you think Ashraf Ghani was relieved to hear Joe Biden's voice? Ashraf Ghani! Well, we got to fight the Taliban, man. Come on, man. Taliban's out there. We got to be a lot better. I can't do Biden. I think it would be a lot better if Ashraf Ghani heard my voice in the morning. Okay, Mr. President, what's happening in your country? What is happening to your soldiers? Why are they not fighting? Do you think that quite possibly that your soldiers are maybe compromised? Okay, maybe they're Taliban insiders. Is that possible? It would be a lot better if it was that voice coming through, right? Even if it was me, it would be a lot better than what Creepy Joe or Sleepy Joe or Quid Pro Joe is doing. So Joe Biden then says, I am a moment late. I'm going to attach these, by the way, in the show notes after the fact, so you can go ahead and look at this. I am a moment late, but I mean it sincerely. Hey, look. That's definitely Biden. Hey, look. I want to make it clear that I'm not a military man. I want to make it clear that I am not a military man any more than you are. But I have been meeting with our Pentagon folks and our national security people, as you have with ours and yours. And and I need not tell you, the perception around the world and in parts of Afghanistan, I believe, is that things aren't going well in terms of the fight against the Taliban. This is Biden addressing Ashraf Ghani of Afghanistan. Okay? I believe it is that things are not going well in terms of the fight against the Taliban. Biden continues. And there's a need. Whether it is true or not, there is a need to project a different picture. Folks, what is Joe Biden trying to convince Ashraf Ghani, the then president of Afghanistan, to do? Project a different picture. Project a different picture. What does that mean? Well, I mean, you could take those 3 words and you could just condense it into one word, 3 letters long, and say, lie. You know what, Mr. President Ghani, I need you to lie for me. I need you to be dishonest for me. I need you to fall in line like the rest of my Democrat colleagues for me. Mr. President Ashraf Ghani of Afghanistan, I need you to lie. I need you to be dishonest. I need you to tell mistruths. I need you to spread misinformation, because this is the theme of the Democrat Party, folks. It's called lying. It's called being deceitful. It's called putting Americans at risk. So please, Mr. President of Afghanistan, please lie for me. Oh, no. Come on, man. It's not lying. It's not lying. It's project a different picture. He asked them to lie. He asked the president of Afghanistan to lie, not just to him, not just to his people. He asked the president of Afghanistan to lie to the world. I didn't make this up. This is his own transcript. We didn't even need a damn whistleblower for this. It goes on. Biden continues. If you empower Bismillah, Defense Minister Bismillah Khan Mohammadi, to execute a strategy focused on key parts of the population centers, and I'm not a military guy, so I'm not telling you what the plan should precisely look at like. So do you hear Joe Biden going on? This is the commander-in-chief of our armed forces. Over and over again, telling a foreign president, I'm not a military guy, so I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a military guy. You're the commander-in-chief. You got to have something. That doesn't mean every single president should be a military guy, but geez, don't tell that to other countries. You're not going to have any leverage. Imagine telling a foreign adversary, I'm not a military guy. They're not going to be afraid of you. You sound like you don't know what you're doing, and maybe he doesn't. Trump wasn't a military guy. Right? So here he is. I'm not a military guy, so I'm not telling you what the plan should precisely look like. You're going to get not only more help, but you're going to get a perception that is going to change in terms of how our allies and folks here in the States and other places think you're doing. Changing a perception of how people think you're doing. Okay, again, it's called lying, folks. It's called lying. It's called lying. You clearly have the best military. You have 300,000 well-armed forces versus 70 to 80,000, and they're clearly capable of fighting well. We will continue to provide close air support if we know what the plan is and what we're doing. And all the way through the end of August, and who knows what after that. We are going to continue to make sure your Air Force is capable of continuing to fly and provide air support. In addition to that, we are going to continue to fight hard diplomatically, politically, economically to make sure your government not only survives, but is sustained and grows because it is clearly in the interest of the people of Afghanistan that you succeed and you lead. And though I know this is presumptuous of me on one hand to say such things directly to you, I have known you for a long while. I find you brilliant and an honorable man. And it continues again. Here's some more damaging information, but I really think, I don't know whether you're aware, just how much the perception around the world is that this is looking like a losing proposition. Joe, it is a losing proposition. You're getting your asses kicked out there, and you're asking this guy to cover it up for you. For what? Air support. You saw it in there. You heard it in there. Now, folks, he's doing this with the Afghan president. While ISIS-K, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, they're all plotting to kill 13 U.S. soldiers. This is what Joe Biden's doing while the Taliban was plotting to destroy U.S. military operations, to take American lives, to turn people over, to behead them, to hang them off of helicopters flying. Look, I'm not trying to be graphic, but you gotta be, because this is disgusting. It's so bad that the media can't even hide from it that Joe Biden's approval ratings are sinking below 40% in some of these liberal polls. Are you telling me 81 million people voted for this crap? Yeah, I'm a little fired up this morning. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Folks, we are 7 months into this mess. The Taliban is now partnering with China. China, okay? The Taliban is going to partner with China. I think China's going to regret it because you can't really touch those people. The Taliban, you can't really do much with those people. What do you think about it? Graveyard of Empires. I don't know. Maybe it's a. My phone just told me that there was an upcoming alarm, and that would have been bad. Let's turn that off. Yeah, very good. Let's hope that the Graveyard of Empires swallows one more. A friend of mine had a shirt. He was looking at a shirt. It's called Jihad Joe. You hate to make light of these things. But I mean, is it true? Is it true? I hear Joe Biden's approval rating amongst the Taliban is at an all-time high. They love him over there. They're driving around in our tanks, in our Humvees, and now they got out. First of all, how did the Taliban figure out how to fly a Black Hawk helicopter? You think cave-dwelling mountain savages that are hanging out that haven't been in power for 20 years, they now all of a sudden know how to fly Black Hawks? What is that about? I want to know what that's about, too. Now all of a sudden they know how to fly Black Hawks so they can fly them over Afghanistan. They're hanging people from the Black Hawk. No, not a scene from Scarface, folks. It's a scene from Afghanistan. So here, this continues, though. I'm sorry I got off track. But the conclusion is I'm asking you to consider is to bring together everyone from former Vice President Abdul Rashid Dostum to former President Hamid Karzai. And in between, if they stand there and say they back the strategy you put together and put a warrior in charge, a military man, Defense Minister Bismillah Khan, in charge of executing that strategy, and that will change the perception, and that will change an awful lot, I think. So do you hear what Joe Biden is trying to do? What is the word that he's using? Let me go back to the chat real quick. What is the word that he's using? He's using the word perception. He's using the word change the perception, change the perception, change the perception. Change the perception. Never once was it about changing the results. Never once was it about changing the outcome. Never once was it about changing the fact that the Taliban was taking over the country in record time. Not once was it about that. It was just change the optics. Change how this looks. Not my president, folks. Not my president. I'm ashamed of this guy. Just change the perception, and that'll change an awful lot. Just lie, paint a different picture, and that'll change everything. Isn't that great? Aren't you happy? Guys, you cheated for this? You stole an election for this. Oh, you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that. Don't you dare say that. Oh, I got more. There's a little bit more. Fired up today, sorry. I'm not going to apologize for being fired up, as I know people like that anyway. Ghani comes back and says, we're facing a full-scale... This is now Ghani is now telling Joe Biden this. Listen to this. Mr. President, we are facing a full-scale invasion composed of Taliban, full Pakistani planning and logistical support, and at least 10 to 15,000 international terrorists, predominantly Pakistanis, thrown into this. So that dimension needs to be taken account of. Isn't that great? And we send so much foreign aid to Pakistan. We sent something like $40 million to do gender studies over there last year. And by the way, that was signed by Donald Trump. I'm not trying to take shots at Donald Trump. I'm just saying that happened under his watch. It was a Democrat House. They passed it. They snuck it in. I get it. But this is what I'm talking about, where people aren't perfect, because we sent millions of taxpayer dollars, millions, tens of millions of taxpayer dollars to Pakistan. Couldn't we have done that to take care of some of our starving veterans and our homeless veterans and the 22 veterans that kill themselves every day in this country? And we're going to sit there and send 30 million or 40 million or however much it was taxpayer dollars to Pakistan to talk about gender? There's two. There's a man, there's a woman. You look down. Is something there? If something's there, you're a man. If something isn't there, you're a woman. Done. Where's my $30 million? That wasn't hard. So you spend $30 million on Pakistan. They go ahead. They send terrorists in to embed with the Taliban. The Taliban take over Afghanistan. Great job. Great job. This is why I hate foreign aid. Hey, you want to help countries that need it? I get it. But you're going to help countries that sponsor terrorism. Where did we kill Osama bin Laden? We killed him in Pakistan. Where did we take out the Taliban? We took them out of Afghanistan. But a couple of years ago, I think it was 2017, We spent $44 million in taxpayer money to build a gas station in Afghanistan. Isn't that wonderful? A gas station in Afghanistan. Now who's going to use it? The Taliban, the Chinese. Yeah, foreign aid, great. It's just great. It's wonderful, right? Oh, we're just going to give back to the world because it's our goddamn job. No, it's not. Can we please focus on what we have to do here? Can we please put America first? Please, are we asking for a lot here? Is anyone asking for a lot here to just put America first? 22 veterans kill themselves every single day in this country. And we're worried about sending in the new infrastructure bill tens of millions of dollars to Mexico for workplace diversity. Mexico. You know, us as taxpayers expect that our tax dollars are going to be reinvested into the homeland, and that's not what's going on. Back to the call. Okay, let's see here. Right. Second, this is back to Ghani, what Ghani is saying to Biden. What is crucial is close air support. And if I could make a request, you've been very generous. If your assistance, particularly to our Air Force, be front-loaded, because what we need at this moment, there was a very heavily reliance on air power, and we have prioritized that if it could be at all front-loaded, we would greatly appreciate it. And third, regarding procedure for the rest of the assistance, for instance, military pay has not increased for over a decade. We need to make some gestures to rally everybody together. So if you could assign the National Security Advisor or the Pentagon, anyone you wish to work with us on the details. So our expectations, particularly regarding your close air support. So they're talking about money. They're talking about air support. There's agreements with the Taliban that we, or you, or this is unclear, are not previously aware of. And because of your Air Force was extremely cautious in attacking them. And the last point, I just spoke again to Dr. Abdullah earlier. He went to negotiate with the Taliban. The Taliban showed no inclination. We can get to peace only if we rebalance the military situation. And I can assure you, and then they cut it off, Ghani. And then I can assure you here, I can assure you that I've been to 4 of our key cities. I'm constantly traveling with the vice president and others. This is Ghani still. We will be able to rally. Your assurance of support goes a very long way to enable us to really mobilize in earnest. The urban resistance, Mr. President, has been extraordinary. There are cities that have taken siege for 55 days and that have not surrendered. Again, I thank you, and I'm always just a phone call away. This is what a friend tells a friend, so please don't feel that you're imposing on me. And then Biden says, no. Well, look. Thank you. Look, close air support works only if there is a military strategy on the ground to support it. Unfortunately, the military strategy that Biden was talking about putting on the ground was not a military strategy because Joe Biden earlier in the call said, look, I'm not a military man. The military strategy that he was talking about was the changing the perception. Changing what the world sees. Isn't that sick? Isn't that disgusting? Isn't that disgusting? Where are we? Who the hell is leading our country? I don't think Joe Biden's leading it anywhere. And unfortunately, I don't really think America's leading anymore. I really don't think America's leading anymore. Our commander-in-chief of our armed forces, the strongest, the biggest, most beautiful. I built it back from nothing, okay? I took over, the military was depleted. Okay? Think about it. The strongest military force in the world, on paper anyway, is being led by a senile old man. He is the commander-in-chief and a woke general like General Milley, and we are getting our asses kicked. Never thought I'd say that. Never thought I'd say that. Not good. It's not good at all. But I don't even know if there is a but. This was a July 23rd call between Joe Biden and President Ashraf Ghani of Afghanistan. Ashraf Ghani straight out tells Joe Biden, on July 23rd that they are facing a full-scale invasion. Joe Biden knew what was happening. Joe Biden knew what was happening, so he understood it so well that he asked the president of the nation that was facing this invasion to lie about the invasion, to lie to his own people, to lie to the world, to lie to the American people. What do you think? Nobody was going to find out that the Taliban was going to take over Afghanistan? And then 13 brave men and women are murdered in attacks on Kabul airport because the idiot that's sitting in the White House right now that somehow found his way into that building is just throwing you know what at the wall and hoping it sticks. And people are dying. So what do you think? Was that a quid pro quo? What do you think? Was that him asking for something in return for something else? And was that a normal quid pro quo? Was that, hey, I'll give you missiles if you give us cash? Was that a transaction? No. That was the president of the United States calling the president of another country saying, lie for me, cover this up so the world doesn't know what's going on. And if you do that, I'll provide air support. Unbelievable. Really, really disgusting. Yeah, we're in great hands, folks. In great hands. United States is securing, this is also from Reuters, the United States is going to help build border facilities on the Tajik-Afghan border. Isn't that nice? So the United States is now going to build new facilities for border guards in Tajikistan along the Central Asian country's frontier with Afghanistan and Uzbekistan to better respond to security threats. The United States Embassy in, I don't know how to pronounce this word, Dushanbe? Dushanbe? I don't know what the hell that word is. A word right there. Said on Wednesday, the embassy out there in Tajikistan says the United States is going to build border facilities over there instead of building them on our own southern border. What? Oh, man. So people want to know what we mean by America first. This is precisely what I mean by America first. We have a border crisis on the southern border in these United States. We have a border crisis. It's not up for debate. You want to talk about separating families? You've got kids wrapped in tinfoil in some of these border facilities that are napping in these buildings. You've got COVID running through those buildings. You've got nobody's getting tested. They're just running right into the country. We have a border crisis here on our southern border, and we are taking time, resources, and money, sending it over to Tajikistan and building border facilities over there. It's so stupid. There is no way that they're this incompetent. They have to be doing a lot of this on purpose. We went from America first, a booming economy, more jobs than people looking for jobs, manufacturing coming back, energy independence, strong national defense, strong border, strong military, record low minority unemployment, record low unemployment among women, to this nonsense, and we're 7 months in. You cheated for this, guys? You couldn't even do it for someone good. Ooh. I am not happy today. I'm sorry. I'm really not happy. So I'll attach that into the show notes as well. Yeah, we're building border facilities in other countries while our southern border is being overrun, and that's just isn't it fantastic? Hey, let me switch gears here real quick. And once again, we're out here 7:35. It's we're gonna stream till around 8:00 from the America First Media Campus out here. This is going to be the most influential room in the state of New York. Lots to talk about still going on. I want to give you a little prediction. As I mentioned this on Wednesday, and I talked about medical tyranny, and I talked about public health emergency, and I talked about what I think is next. And I want to talk about that a little bit more in depth. I want you to think about something, and I want you to pay attention, and I want you maybe to write things down or screen record what I'm about to say or whatever. But I want you to understand something. I want you to understand certain terms. The term public health emergency is the same thing as the term assault rifle. It's the same thing as the term hate speech. These are meaningless, made up, nothing terms. How does one decide what is and is not a public health emergency? How does one decide what an assault weapon is? An assault weapon is anything that does damage to a liberal argument. May not even be a physical item. Hate speech is anything a liberal doesn't agree with. It's really crazy. So what is a public health emergency? I don't know. It could be anything, and that's the point. It could be anything. Okay? And that's the biggest problem that I have, because what is going to be the next public health emergency, and how is government going to react? Well, they took this public health emergency, quote unquote, air quotes, and I'm not saying that there's not a virus. I'm not saying it's not serious. I'm not saying any of that. But they took this public health emergency. They grabbed so much power. They changed election laws. They determined what businesses were essential and not essential. They told you when things were allowed to open and things were allowed to close. They told you how far you had to stand from one another. They told you what you had to wear on your face. All in the name of public health, right? So they did all these things. They abandoned the constitutional process to do all these things. They do all these things. And then what? Are they going to give you back your rights? No, you see that we get through the pandemic. We get through the whole thing, and we're still wearing masks. We had 15 days to slow the spread. We're on day 535. So what is the next public health emergency going to be? What do I think the Democrats have in mind? I'm telling you right now, straight up, 100%, the next public health emergency, look out for headlines. Look out for this terminology, a gun violence epidemic. I want you to understand those three words. I want you to write them down. Gun violence epidemic. Gun violence, they've been obsessed with forever. An epidemic would let them call it a public health emergency. And then they can go and look at all the precedents that they just set during COVID and say, hey, ladies and gentlemen of America, turn in your firearms. Don't worry, it's only for 2 weeks. You ain't never getting your guns back if you do that. And you know what happens if you lose your firearms? Australia happens if you lose your firearms. Stadiums full of 24,000 kids are getting vaccinated without their parents in Australia. They're building quarantine facilities, regional quarantine facilities, camps. Those are called camps. That sounds like a camp to me. You guys want to go to a quarantine camp, a FEMA camp? Who's ready for the gulags, ladies and gentlemen? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna have a lot of fun in those gulags. Public health emergency. Public health emergency. But you know what we have to say to that? We will not comply. We will not comply. You know, what does it say that 30% of the medical community right now does not want to take a vaccine? And it's not a vaccine. It is an injected therapeutic. It is not a vaccine. But what does it say that 30%? Now, I posted something on the Long Island Loud Majority's Facebook page. Upcoming protests. I believe there's one today. I'm going to check. I'm going to give you a couple of dates right now of a couple of these protests here. So today, St. Joseph's Hospital out in Bethpage, 4295 Hempstead Turnpike at 3 p.m. We're going to have healthcare workers against mandates out there. Tomorrow, September 4th, at the Peconic Bay Medical Center, 1300 Roanoke Avenue in Riverhead, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Then we have on September 6th, St. Catherine's in Smithtown, 50 New York, 25A. September 6th, that's on Labor Day, 11 a.m., to 1 p.m. And then one at St. Charles Hospital, 200 Belterre Road in Port Jeff on September 7th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Main Street and East Broadway. And then we have a huge anti-mandate rally on September 12th at Stony Brook. September 12th at Stony Brook University Hospital at 3 p.m. Lots of big-time speakers lined up for that. We're working hand-in-hand with a bunch of the organizers on that as well. So a lot going on for the medical and the healthcare workers, and if you can support them, please do. And remember, if you're going to support the healthcare workers and we're going to support these folks who are opposing mandates, and again, I'm not anti-vax, I'm anti-force. I'm not anti-vax, I'm anti-mandate. All right? Get out there and support these folks. Get out there and support these folks. But if we're going to go support these folks, let's please remember to conduct ourselves properly. You know, I heard from somebody. I'm going to give him a shout out. I'm not going to use his name. I heard from somebody, and I give him credit for this. He messaged me, and he's ideologically opposed to some of the stuff that we're doing. But he messaged me on Facebook, and he said, "Hey, I watched your live stream, and I heard you call for your people to be calm at the board meetings." And I did. I said, "Listen. You know, it's okay to get a little heated. You want to voice, but when other people are talking at the microphone, we want to let them go. Even if they're saying masks are God, even if they're saying masks stop coronavirus, and we know it's garbage, you know what? You'll have a chance to rebuke that. You'll have a chance to come in opposition to that, stand in opposition to that, and voice your opposition to that when you get up and speak. Okay? So I urge everyone to remain calm, remain classy, remain tactful, remain peaceful, remain civil at these board meetings. And actually, he reached out to me through Facebook yesterday and said, "Look, I don't agree on a lot of things, but I want to commend you for that." And I'm not looking for that. I'm just saying that that is what the other side thinks. And this is not me making nice with other people and making nice with the other side and saying we're going to compromise on masks. No. But understand, if you're going to go to these protests, you're going to go to these board meetings, you're going to have to, and you're going to wear our shirt, whatever. Even if you're not wearing our shirts, please behave yourselves. Just keep yourself composed. Please, 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 please. Just like when we started a year ago, and I used to say it all the time on live streams, no free ammo, right? There's cameras everywhere. There's more cameras on us now than there ever been. There's cameras on you. There's cameras on me. There's cameras on everybody. Just like I used to say all the time when we started, no free ammo. No free ammo. No free ammo. So let's not give anybody some free ammunition to call us whatever it is they want to call us and take away from our message, which is good. Sometimes our behavior is not that good. We've been doing a great job with it. A lot better. This has been a much better week. Let's be respectful. Let's be civil. Okay. It's definitely not a point. It's definitely not a problem to try and actually have a civil conversation. We don't need F-bombs and things getting thrown and people getting all out of control. If you're going to do that, go scream at your wall for a minute, go yell into a pillow, compose yourself, and come back onto the street. Do yourself a favor, because you don't want, that's just going to bring negative attention, okay? Vinny is going to be at the Riverhead rally tomorrow, Vinny Torelli. So for those of you who haven't seen the Commodore, for those of you who haven't seen him in a while, he will be at the Peconic Bay Medical Center, Riverhead, 11 to 3 tomorrow out there on the East End, rocking it on the East End. There's a bunch of protests coming up, but go support our healthcare workers facing mandates. All right. So, and also, I did try to attend the Belmore Merrick meeting. I attended it for about 30 seconds. I sat down. I took my mask off because I figured you're sitting down. There's no COVID when your butt's in a seat because the virus knows. And 3 security guards rushed at me. "You got to put that on. Oh, my God. You got to put that mask on. We've asked you already. We got to put that." I said, "Oh, my goodness, guys. I'm not wearing that." "Well, then we're going to have to ask you to leave." "Okay, see you later." Folks, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done complying. I will not play the game anymore. We have to just stop playing the game. Tucker Carlson calls it an obedience mask. That's what it is. I'm okay with being obedient if I'm obeying laws that make sense, if I'm obeying rules that make sense. I have antibodies. Okay? The greatest antibodies of the history of the world. I've got those. I can't get anybody sick. I am not the problem. By the way, nobody here is the problem, because you have a 99.98% chance of beating this virus. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? I had gone to a bunch of board meetings before that, never ever had an experience like that where 3 security guards rushed. There's a maskless face. Get him. There's a lot of problems in this world, and there's a lot of problems in that school district, and that is definitely not supposed to be issue number one. Do not comply. Do not comply. I won't. I will not comply. We will not comply. September 15th, big, major, huge. Okay, we're talking about huge. National walkout. I know we were supposed to go to East Meadow yesterday. The weather kind of put a damper on things, and we want to let people kind of figure the situations out if they had floods and whatnot. So we postponed yesterday's East Meadow walkout. I know it got a lot of traction on the Facebook page. I couldn't believe the amount of shares. It looked great. It was, you guys really did a great job hitting the share button on that one. But we'll be doing a walkout. I don't know if we're going to do something centralized or if we're going to do it district by district, but September 15th, so save the date. Sunday. The 1 year anniversary of the loud majority. We're starting at the Dennison building. We're going to caravan right here to the America First warehouse. It's going to be, so we're going to be meeting at the Dennison building at 11 a.m. We're going to be leaving there at 1 p.m. And we are collecting donations for Voices for Seniors. As you know, the former Governor Cuomo, absolutely slaughtered the elderly in the beginning stages of the pandemic. I hate to say it, but that's exactly what he did. And so far, he's not being held accountable for it. But what we can do to do our part, we could say, let's see if the legal system will hold him accountable. We could at least help the people that were hurt by him. So Voices for Seniors, a tremendous organization. They're collecting basically anything. Okay, so here, you can bring in games. I'm reading off of a flyer here. But playing cards, Jenga, lacing cards, checkers, dominoes, boggle, stuffed animals, bingo. You can bring in craft materials, colored pencils, adult coloring books, knitting and crochet gifts, large piece jigsaw puzzles, and painting and coloring kits. You can bring in practical gifts like a walker caddy, a book light or a reading lamp, a book magnifying sheet, and a pen and notepad. You can bring in books and magazines like crossword puzzles and word search and various magazines and journals. You can bring in stuff like hairbrushes and bar soaps and chapsticks and toothbrushes, or you can bring some warm sweatshirts and non-skid socks and pajama pants and throw blankets. There is a flyer. I'm going to be posting it on the Long Island Loud Majority Facebook page. Again, please bring your donations for Voices for Seniors. We could really make a difference here. We could really make a difference here for a community that was ravaged and didn't need to be. So please bring that with you on Sunday, and we will be collecting for Voices for Seniors. And that collection is going to take place at the warehouse when we get here. When we do get to the warehouse, we do have a few folks lined up, speakers and whatnot, and a really special treat by a very funny friend of mine. And that's all I'm going to say. I'll let you understand. I'll let you see what happens on Sunday when we get to this warehouse. But a very funny friend of mine and a very special treat, and a bunch of other people are going to be there on the anniversary. I hope to see you guys there. And please bring your donations for Voices for Seniors so we can make a difference. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about. I don't remember what it was. I know I said it in the beginning of the show, but I don't remember what it was. But the real thing that I wanted to get to today, obviously, was the Afghanistan stuff. Was the quid pro quo. Was the fact that our president was asking another president in another country to lie to make everything else look better, even though everything was horrible. The other president on July 23rd, Ashraf Ghani, told our president that this country, that Afghanistan was being invaded. And the rally, the 1 year anniversary is, excuse me, there it is, the Delta. The 1 year anniversary is on Sunday. It is on Sunday. We will have been going for a year. I really don't think there was a week that we stopped. 52 weeks in a row. And that's why we're still here. And that's why we're still pushing. And that's why we're still fighting. Governor Cuomo in a dress is standing there with all her buddies. I thought when you're standing up here that's where the COVID was. But when you're down there at kid level, there wasn't COVID. Did you understand that picture? How disgusting that picture is? Cuomo in a dress is standing there with all our buddies unmasked, and you have 5 children in front of them, and none of them look happy. Do you understand how sick that concept is? Do you understand how sick the left is? Their obsession over kids. Are you kidding me? Leave the kids alone, guys. Leave the kids alone. There is something that they haven't tried to do in this country yet. They've done it, but they've done it very quietly. Now they're getting very loud about it, and they don't understand how mad people are going to get over it. Leave the kids alone. Leave them alone. Because you start coming at these children, you're going to wake a sleeping giant, the likes of which we've never, ever, ever seen. I'm telling you right now, liberals, get the hell out of those schools. Leave these kids alone. Because if you don't, my goodness, are you going to face the political consequences? Not just from us. Yeah, oh, this was the other article. Let me see if I could find it. The Post-Millennial. Great work by James O'Keefe and Project Veritas. Antifa teacher set to be fired by school after attempting to radicalize children. I don't know if you guys saw it. And also, if we could please be generous for Project Veritas, their office in Mamaroneck, New York, I got the email yesterday, was destroyed in the floods by the remnants of Ida. And Project Veritas could really use your help. So go over to their website, see if you could donate to them and give them a hand there. They're one of the best organizations, the most dangerous journalistic organizations in the world in terms of exposing truth. And we want to keep them afloat. So please head over there, Project Veritas, and give them a hand, a donation, anything you could do to help them recover from this, because we need them. They're one of the only media, quote unquote, media outlets that's doing something here. Veritas released a report on Tuesday exposing in Indercombe High School AP government teacher Gabriel Gipe for politically indoctrinating students and stating that he is turning his students into revolutionaries. This is happening in public schools, folks. Public schools. This was in California, I believe. And that teacher is going to be fired. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you see these things going on, like at William Floyd's 6th grade chorus class, like in Longwood, signing into the Chromebooks, things as simple as asking for pronouns. There's no such, how can one person, let me ask you this question. How can somebody, one person, identify as a they? They is a plural. Them is a plural. One person cannot identify as multiple people. I'm sorry, folks. We have to live in the real world somehow here. So big ups to Project Veritas, and please, if you could donate to them and help them out in any way you can, because they are going to be rebuilding. And obviously, it's just a setback for them. They're not going to be permanently, down, but we want to help them out as best as possible. I've had the privilege to meet a bunch of those guys, including James O'Keefe, and they're really good people. So please, let's give them a hand. Because if you think the work that we're doing in Long Island is good, I mean, they're just on another level. All right, folks, we got 5 minutes left on the show. 631-309-3979. 631-309-3979. We'll take a few calls going into the weekend. 631-309-3979. You know what to do. Blow up the phone lines. I got them rolling. It should be hot, ready to go. Anything you want to talk about, we'll do a few calls before we sign off for the week, and then I see you guys on. Of course, I'll see you guys on Sunday. I won't be able to make any of the protest rallies tomorrow. I'll be working. But 631-309-3979. I see Ashley also from Tennessee is watching. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be speaking to people in multiple states going forward. This is going national. This is taking off, and we want to make sure that we can be the loud majority of the United States and not just Long Island, folks. So head over to our website, loudmajorityus.com. Oh, yes, the 6th grade chorus teacher at William Floyd School District. I'm sorry. It wasn't really a teacher, but it was a sheet that was given to the incoming students of the class asking all these personal questions, and one of them was, what are your pronouns? What are your pronouns? A 6th grader. A 6th grader. I was never asked that question in 6th grade. I was never asked that question in 6th grade. What are your pronouns? They see your name. They can kind of guess what it is. All right, we got a call coming in here, so I'm going to bring this person on. And if you can, just tell me where you're calling from.
Good morning, Sean. It's Jennifer from West Babylon. How are you this morning?
Hey, how are you? What's going on?
I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention, I went crazy yesterday because, as a woman mentioned the other day, the S7320 bill is going in, and it's going in strong. And Cuomo, in a address, is saying that what she's done with the school so far is a floor, and that the schools can go beyond what has been set. So I feel that it's like super important for everyone to go ahead and reach out to the speaker. I believe that you had put the email address on, but for those people that are interested in doing well for our kids, I wanted to make sure they have the email address as well as the phone number.
Okay.
To get in touch with Carl up there.
Carl Heasty.
Yes. It's speaker at nyassembly.gov. That's his email address. Let him know how displeased and that you do not want this bill to pass. And the phone number to get in touch with his office is 518-455-3791.
Okay.
I'm going to tell everybody, don't be discouraged when you call there. And the woman is very nonchalant about it, but our voices have to be heard.
I agree. Jen, thank you for that information. So Carl Heasty, speaker at nyassembly.gov. That's the email, 518-455-3791.
That's correct.
All right. Thank you so much. And by the way, your son's awesome.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Have a great day.
Talk to you later. That's Jen from West Babylon. 631-309-3979. 631-309-3979. Do what Jen just called and said. Email. Blow up the email. Blow up the phone lines. And Jen's son, he spoke at the first West Babylon meeting, and he spoke at the last one too. And he got under someone's skin so bad that they actually subtweeted him basically in person. Oh, there was a child who said some trans. I said it wasn't transphobic. But he did say, the reason why I should have a choice whether or not to wear a mask is because people in 6th grade, 10-year-olds or whatever, have a choice to choose their gender. And when he said that, my jaw hit the floor so hard, I got a bruise. The bill is S as in Senate, S as in Sam. It is S7320, S7320. And you're going to call the speaker here of the assembly, Carl Heasty. It is speaker at nyassembly.gov. And the phone number, 518-455-3791. You've got to call and voice your opposition to this bill. That bill is going to be something that would give the health commissioner the authority to mandate vaccines, despite FDA approval. So there you go. You got to give those people a call. 631-309-3979. If there's nobody else ready to go, we're gonna keep going for about another couple minutes. 631-309-3979. Also, I heard on Newsmax somebody filled in for Greg Kelly the other day and mentioned Smithtown. So whoever that was, hats off to you. I told those Smithtown parents that it was going to be a national story, and that is exactly what it is, and we are still going. And yes, I see a comment from Jackie down here. I will put that in the show notes in the email that I send out with all the articles and information, the Carl Heasty's contact info for sure. All right, so let's go over a quick wrap-up tomorrow. Obviously, we've got the protest at Riverhead at the Peconic Bay Medical Center, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and you go see Vinny out there in the East End in Riverhead. We've got Sunday is the one-year anniversary rally of the Loud Majority. It's a Trump rally. Come with all your Trump flags. Bring your own food. Bring your own drinks. Please, 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 no grills. We don't want to have anybody barbecuing out there in the back at the warehouse. We want to keep the space clean. Please, please, please. But bring your own food. Bring your own drinks. We got one more call coming in here. All right, last call of the show. Just tell me where you're calling from.
I'm in Western Nassau County.
Okay.
And I just want to mention, yes, importantly, to get in touch with Carl Heasty, but also you have to call your local assembly representative. I spoke to mine, and let her know how I felt about that bill. You also need to contact your local assembly because they are the ones that vote on these bills. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yes, and you're right. And the easiest way, some people don't know how to find that information. You could just go to Google and write NY, who is my New York State Assemblyman? And then it'll take you to the website. You can punch in your zip code and get the contact information within 30 seconds. So it's not hard to find it. And no, that's very good information. Call them as well. So in addition to calling Carl Heastie, also call your local assemblyman and your state senator if you want. Just call everybody. I'll put all this information in the email. But thanks for the reminder. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Awesome. So Sunday. So also call your local representatives as well. Call your local representatives as well. So once again, Sunday, Dennison Building, 11 a.m. We're leaving by 1, coming to the America First Warehouse, 90 13th Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. We should be arriving here by around 1:30, 2 o'clock. From the Dennison Building, it's a short run, but I want to trump up all the roads. I want everyone to see it. I want everyone to know that we're still here. I want everyone to know that we're not going away. Like I've been saying for the last year, we're not going away. We're here to stay. We're not going away. We're going to take back our state. And if we take back New York, we take back the country. All right. So that's happening on Sunday. Next week, obviously, next weekend is September 11th. We're going to announce our plans for that. That's going to be next weekend. And obviously September 12th also at Stony Brook, the anti-mandate rally as well. And a lot of people are coming together for that one as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, folks, loud majority, whoever it is out there that's watching, deplorables, whoever it is, Patriots. It's been a good week. It's been a fun week. It's been a quick week. A lot has gone on. And hopefully everyone's making out okay with the floods and the rain, and hopefully you guys we could bounce back and recover. I want to see everybody there Sunday. Hopefully I can see everybody there Sunday. Thank you to everybody who called in. That is going to do it for us today. Thanks for watching. We Will Not Comply, which of course broadcasts live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. from the America First Media Campus. This room right now that I sit in is going to be the most influential room in the state of New York, and that's all because of you. I want to thank you guys for being a part of this for the entire last year. It's meant the world to me to see everybody come together, to see what we can do. There's strength in numbers. We're going to get organized. We're going to continue to push. We're going to get that email out to the school districts too. I want to get that form email out so we can flood the inboxes. If they want their inboxes back, this is the campaign. If they want their inboxes back, they take the mask off the kids. Until then, those inboxes are ours, okay? We are going to take everything over in terms of that. If they want the inboxes back, you will have to give the kids their childhoods back, okay? Give the kids their freedom back. So we're going to be drafting that email and getting that ready to go. It should be an impressive campaign. We've seen these campaigns work in other spots, so I can't wait to see it work in your backyard, in your public schools. And then obviously I know there's a lot of parents who are doing homeschooling. Congratulations. Kudos to you guys for going in and following through on what you said. Actions speak louder than words. Talk is cheap. The do matters, to quote the great, legendary, my inspiration, my idol, Dan Bongino. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in today to We Will Not Comply. The audio will be uploaded after this to Podbean, which is going to hit Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Spotify. Just look up We Will Not Comply. Go in there, subscribe, download, listen. Of course, it's going to be up on Twitter. It's going to be up on YouTube. I'm going to see if I can get this thing up on Rumble. I'm having some issues, but I'm going to try and get it up there. It's going to stay up there on Facebook. It'll be on my personal page. It'll be on the public page. It's going to be everywhere, this show. Share it out to everybody. Let's beat the algorithms. Let's beat the censorship. We've been doing really well. 21,000 views on the Wednesday show on Twitter. A couple of thousand views all over the place on Facebook. Do us a favor, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just share it everywhere you can. And let's continue to grow. Let's continue to grow beyond Long Island. We're growing into we're making inroads and networking with folks upstate. We're making inroads and networking with folks out in other states across the country. This is a movement that has taken off, and it's only been a year. I honestly, after the first Trump parade last year, didn't think that we would be doing things of this magnitude, and yet here we are, and it's all because of you guys. So I love you guys. I'm here for you. I want to continue fighting with you, and here is to the next year. Here is to the next year. Being loud, staying loud, and making a difference. That's for you guys. Thank you so much. And we're going to take over, man. We're going to win. We're going to continue to win. We're not going to be stopped, and we will not be silenced, and we will not comply. Thank you guys so much. I'll check in with you on Sunday, and I'll catch back up with you on the Monday stream, 7 a.m. right here. You know where to be every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you have any questions, liloudmajority@gmail.com. Any topics you want to talk about on the show, any articles, you can send us a message, send us an email. We do get flooded. It's hard to kind of keep up with everything, but we are trying. But please send us all the information that you've gotten. And if you're getting coursework and stuff from your schools that are alarming, and this is you too, students, if you see things in your schools that are alarming, send it our way. We want it. We want to help you. We want to expose it. We want to bring it to light so it never happens again, just like in Utah, just like in California. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you guys next week, and I'll see most of you on Sunday.